Why do Indians not give tips? Now, the common answer is, oh, they are generally frugal. Just like other Eastern cultures like Chinese and other Eastern cultures, Indians are frugal. Coming out of extreme poverty, Indians culturally are very frugal, and that's why, in order to save money, they do not want to give tips. The second answer that people give, that it's culturally they are not used to giving tip, and giving tip is a very Western concept, people in India don't accept tip and don't give tip. The second answer is perhaps a little bit more correct than the first one, and I would like to elaborate on the cultural aspect of why tipping is not that prevalent in India, or at least used to be in the distant past, and that has to do with the cultural mindset of India. Till recent past, giving and accepting tip was considered as derogatory or disrespectful. This may sound a little bit surprising to Western mind, but it was actually considered an insult to give someone a tip. And the reason for that is, when someone does a good act, someone performs their job well, they want, in Indian context, if an Indian person performs their job well, does a good job, they expect you to recognize their effort by a smile, by gratitude, or by genuine sense of thanks. When you give them a tip for that good act, for their act of kindness, whether it's giving you a ride, or whether giving you food well, or treating you with a smile, or just in general providing a good service, when you reciprocate that act of kindness with money, then it seems that that person takes it that you have not recognized the person who they are. You're not saying, oh, I see you as a kind person, oh, I see you as a nice person, but you're saying, oh, you were kind, you must be looking for this $2, you must be wanting this $3, you must be wanting this dollar, you must be wanting this $4. That's why you were kind or nice to me. That's why you had a smile on your face. Not because you are genuinely a cheerful person, not because you're genuinely a humble, serving person. That is what used to convey when you give someone a tip, that you're ripping that person off of who he is, and telling them that you're simply providing this service for this extremely small amount of money, which generally tips are 10%, 15%, which are not enough money to make someone wealthy, or not enough money for someone to bank on tips as to grow their empire getting the tips. That's a different thing, but again, it's almost like washing your hands off that person's service towards you. Okay, good job, all right, here's your tip, go away. Okay, and that's not how people want you to remember them in India. People who give good service, or who used to be offering good service, helping others, want you to remember their kind act, and want you to identify them as a kind person. And this was during the time when person's reputation was his currency, not money. A person's personal reputation is what elevated him in the society. So if a person has a reputation of being kind and helpful, he will get more help from others. People will trust him more. People will, be nicer back to him, because he has already established his reputation by offering services to people, right? But if he takes money, then he becomes the person who now offers or smiles or serves people because of that small amount of tip. So in India, for a very long time, the people who accepted tip were the very, very low soul people who really, really needed that small amount of money. The tip was, for a long time in India, wasn't seen as an offering of appreciation. A smile, a genuine smile, a genuine acknowledgement of their service was seen as a recognition of their service. and therefore Indians coming from that generation, from that mindset, are a little bit reluctant to give tip, because they would expect the person who's offering them service should offer that service out of their own sense of duty. They should not offer that service, whether it's a server or whether it's someone in the hotel, for a small amount of money, because if you are really smiling at someone because that person is going to give you $2, what kind of person are you? You know? So that is the reason why still in some Indians giving tip is seen as abhorrent and not a good thing. But that is changing. India, which was a closer society, is now getting expanded. People, reputation, a personal reputation is not as important a currency, at least in metropolitan bigger cities, as person's financial status. So you may not know a person who has been nice to you today. You may never meet that person again if you're living in a big city or big town, and therefore a personal image or a reputation is diminishing in importance, at least in bigger cities all over the world. But yeah, I think that is the reason why Indians don't feel comfortable giving tips.